The English Revolution, 1642-1651, was one of the most important and dramatic events in British history. It marked a time of deep conflict between the monarchy and Parliament, leading to a civil war that completely changed the political landscape of England. Before the war began, several plots were made to remove King Charles I from power, and these events contributed significantly to the tensions that led to the revolution. Charles I and his rule. Charles I became King of England in 1625. From the beginning of his reign, he faced difficulties due to his belief in absolute monarchy, meaning he wanted to rule without needing the approval of Parliament. This caused many problems, as Parliament was not willing to be ignored by the king, and their disagreements grew stronger over time. One of the most significant issues was taxes. Charles raised money without asking Parliament, which angered many people. He also faced opposition from Protestants because of his attempts to make England's church more like the Catholic Church, a move that many people strongly disliked. Charles's religious policies, combined with his disregard for Parliament, made him unpopular with large sections of English society. Charles's relationship with Parliament became increasingly strained, and in 1640, after years of disagreement, he was forced to call Parliament again due to financial problems. This marked the beginning of an even more serious conflict that would eventually lead to the English Civil War. The plot against Charles I. Before the war started, several plots were created to remove Charles I from power, mostly by people who wanted more influence over England's government. These conspiracies came from both political rivals and individuals who felt the king had too much power. One of the earliest plots was the attempted capture plot in 1628. A group of aristocrats and military officers planned to capture the king and take control of the country. However, the plot was discovered, and its members were arrested before they could carry it out. Although this plan failed, it highlighted the growing dissatisfaction with Charles's rule and foreshadowed the struggles to come. As tensions between Charles and Parliament grew, more people started plotting against him. Some believed that Charles was too closely aligned with Catholic countries in Europe, such as Spain and France, and feared that he might secretly support Catholicism in England. Others simply wanted more control over the government and felt that the king was becoming too powerful. One of the most well-known plots against Charles I was the Tower Plot of 1642. The conspirators planned to assassinate Charles and seize control of the Tower of London, a symbol of royal power. However, the plot was uncovered when one of the conspirators warned the authorities, leading to the arrest of the plotters. Some legends say that the conspirators used secret tunnels beneath the tower to escape, but this claim has never been proven. The English Revolution. In 1642, the tensions between the king and Parliament reached a boiling point. Charles attempted to arrest some members of Parliament, which led to the start of the English Civil War. The war was fought between the Royalists, who supported the king, and the parliamentarians, who wanted to limit the king's power and create a more representative government. The parliamentarians were led by Oliver Cromwell, a military and political leader who became one of the most important figures of the Revolution. Cromwell formed the New Model Army, a well-organized and disciplined force that was crucial to Parliament's victory over the Royalists. By 1645, the parliamentarians had achieved a decisive victory, and the Royalists were forced into retreat. The execution of Charles I. In 1649, after losing the war, Charles I was captured by the parliamentarians. He was put on trial, found guilty of treason, and sentenced to death. On January 30th, 1649, Charles was executed in Trafalgar Square, an event that marked the end of absolute monarchy in England. The execution of Charles I has been the subject of many myths and stories. One of the most famous is the belief that Charles, just before his death, said the words, "I go to God to give an account of myself." This phrase has become iconic as it represents his calmness and dignity in the face of death. However, other theories suggest that there were secret forces at work behind the scenes. Some believe that Cromwell and other leaders secretly worked with foreign countries to strengthen the Republican movement in England. While we will never know for certain whether such plots were involved, the mystery surrounding the events only adds to the intrigue of this period in history. Conclusion: the plots against Charles I and the English Revolution were defining moments in English history. They demonstrated the power struggle between the monarchy and Parliament and highlighted the desire for greater political freedom and representation. Although Charles I was executed, the revolution ultimately led to the creation of a new political system in which the king no longer had absolute power. The English Civil War paved the way for the establishment of a republic under Oliver Cromwell, and later the restoration of the monarchy under Charles II. The English Revolution changed the political structure of England and set the stage for future struggles over the role of the monarchy and Parliament. Despite the violence and conflict, the Revolution showed the power of the people and Parliament to make decisions about the governance of their country. The legacy of this period continues to influence British politics to this day.